What is your greatest sin? And be honest with you, it's really none of my business what your greatest sin is. Hello, my name is Troy Beans, international speaker, relationship coach with 78freethrows.com. Speak about sin. What is sin? Sin is this pile of stuff that we add up, that we do wrong, and all the good things, we try and balance it out, kind of a karma type thing. The Bible doesn't teach that. So what is sin? What really is sin? Let's go to the Garden of Eden. Let's go to the beginning of sin. What was it? You have God created Adam and Eve. He puts a tree in the middle of that garden and he says, you can't eat from it. You have choice. You can choose to eat everything else, but you can't eat there. And if you eat from that, you will die. He's setting up a choice. They get to choose. And whatever reason, Eve goes over to that tree one day and the devil is in the tree, inside of a snake, speaking out of the snake to Eve and tells Eve, you won't die. She doesn't believe God. For whatever reason, she's convinced. She takes the fruit, and now she has sinned. She takes the fruit to Adam. Now this is where it gets really interesting, in that now Adam, he seriously has a decision to make. Similar to the type of decisions you and I make all the time. His decision is, God says if you take the fruit, you're going to die. Eve has. She hasn't died yet. So something doesn't quite seem to add up in that manner. But I really believe God. And if I don't take the fruit and Eve dies, then I miss Eve. I lose out on Eve. And so, or do I choose Eve and I miss out on God? Maybe it goes even a little bit deeper. Do I trust God completely? If I say, you know what? I know God is perfect love, and I know God will take care of me. God will get me through anything. God, we only go by what just is right in front of us. I don't know that Adam ever stopped and thought, well, maybe God will make a way for Eve to choose God again, and I might see her again. Because that's exactly what God did. But Adam, he just makes a decision. He separates himself from God. He chooses Eve. And that's what sin is. Sin is separating ourselves from God. God is perfect love. Absolute. His whole being is love. Everything about him is love. When he does something, it's out of love. Could you imagine your relationship, my relationship with my wife, if everything I did came out of nothing but love? She'd be a lucky woman. She knows full well that's never happened. But that's the goal I'm shooting for. If she did the same thing, what kind of relationship would we have? It'd be amazing. My original question, what is your greatest sin? Today I'm going to tell you my greatest sin. Kind of a long story there to kind of explain sin and talk about sin. I'm going to tell you my greatest sin, and many of you have heard me speak, and probably a lot of you who've heard me speak on sexuality and different things, and I have been relatively vulnerable, very vulnerable about things in my past, and I'm sure many of you are thinking, I know exactly what he's going to say, and the reality is, you don't. I have never told anybody this, ever. Not a soul. And now I'm here talking to you, lots of yous, about what my greatest sin is. Sin is separation from God. It's removing myself from God. My greatest sin is the fact that I often care too much about what you think. I'm not blaming you. It's certainly not your fault. But my whole life, I've been told to set a good example. to be a good boy, to be a good kid, to be a good man, to be a good father, to get along with my teammates, to get along with my coworkers, get along with all these people. Along with all of that, I want to be liked. I want to be cared for. I want to be someone that is looked up to. So I work really, really hard to do all those things. And sometimes not so bad, sometimes not good at all. And all those things sound good. But far too often, my conscience, God speaking to me, has said, Troy, I want you to go this way. I have a different direction for you. And I've said, oh, but so-and-so wouldn't like that. The crowd wouldn't appreciate that. My family can't do that. I don't want to do that. I've worried so much about what you think. I've allowed it to separate me from God. I'll flip that around. What if I'd have followed God every time? Sure, there'd be times people would have treated me poorly. People wouldn't appreciate what I did. If I followed God, and God is nothing but love, that sounds pretty good to me. It sounds really, really good to me. I don't know what your greatest sin is, and I don't need to know. But think about it this week. What has been one thing that you know that has separated you from God, from having that walk with God? God cares about you. God has the hairs of your head numbered. God knows everything about you. When a problem arises, you don't need to go to your friends. You don't need to go to other people, although it's not bad to do that. But if you care more about what God says back to you than what other people say to you, your life will change dramatically. And it may not be the easiest thing on this earth, but it will change dramatically in powerful, powerful ways. Look in your life this week. Check it out and see what you find. I'd love to know what you think. I'd love for you to tell me what you thought of this video, whether you think, no, that doesn't make sense to me, or yeah, I like that. That really made me think. I'd love to know a topic you would like me to talk about. You have a fabulous week, and I will talk to you very, very soon.